Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone, depending on where you are. It's actually my great honor and pleasure today to share with you my experience on green building developments, in particular, post COVID, although we are still inside this COVID time. But I think what we actually learned in the past 18 months is really a great experience, and definitely that will help us to develop something more resilient in face of the future kind of a similar pandemics. So today I'd like to just give kind of overview on what's happening, recently, and in particular on in face of this COVID, the kind of industrial kind of reactions and actions, in particular how we work together to help to build a better kind of future and also help us to develop kind of more we say resilient things. So today I will share my experience where I work and also our experience of Hong Kong Green Building Council, where we advocate not only COVID related but other sustainable issues in the industry. So I will talk from the perspective of the practitioner and also industry on that. So what exactly we learned from this is that we are more conscious on this health and well-being. Everybody are now very alert on the space where we are staying. We try where we could to avoid the infected. We also change the way how we work, how we see the importance of our work, not only to the company but more importantly, how we can help the industry and also the society as a whole. But unfortunately, in some areas that we also see some not that happy situations where we have this kinds of isolations of communities from happening, and I think more importantly that we also see more and more kind of unequal or inequitable kind of situations that happening in some disadvantaged groups. I think more importantly to our industry, we are facing many other challenges due to this COVID, including that right now that we have a kind of a surplus in many building spaces, including office and also retail. So these are the problems that we have to work on. But the industry, as I said, actually work together, and we try where we could to help to build a more resilient kind of future for ourselves. So these are the kind of agenda or pillars that we are developing, not only in this region but more collaborate worldwide to create more sustainable kind of futures in our building community, including this livable environment, resilience, low carbon, and more importantly, that you like to be more as inclusive as possible. And we know we are not well alone. In fact, global, we have many kind of enabling and enabler to help us to work together achieve that end, including UN who have this SDG kind of initiative that actually help a lot to engage all the people work on the same page. And also likewise that we also see the kind of developments in the industry, in particular capitalize the kind of recent technology advance in digital. And I think more importantly, which later on we have other speakers we touch on how this green finance actually help to move the whole kind of transformations and quicker in the right direction in particular. So in particular, we know the SDG are important at GBC and World GBC at large, that we actually develop many strategies that help us to align on that 17 goals, and these are kind of areas that directly related to our industry. So together, actually, we have developed some strategies. I mean, more importantly, kind of actions to help us to move in that directions. Otherwise, I mean, digitization that's happening in industry, not only in building industry, but across all the industry or economies. But specific related to us are the way how we actually design, build, and I think more importantly, operate our facilities. I think that's actually have changed significantly in mid of this COVID-19 situations. As I said, that green finance actually are also helping a lot on that. Later, I mean, we have speaker actually will touch more on this, how the ESG actually can help again create another bigger kind of momentum from the financial sector in order to move things quicker and faster. I think more importantly is in a more collaborative way, so that everyone can be benefit on that. So I think what's more important for now, we know the issues and we know where we should do. I think is to develop the actions. As I said, that within the industry, within I mean not limited to Hong Kong, but I think wider regional and so globally, that we have developed different kind of actions, which I've highlighted here. I mean that some of these actually are being implemented, and some actually still need to be developed, in particular on the details and also the timeline on achieving that, which I'll go through quickly with you on that. We know that net zero is our ultimate goals. In fact, that worldwide, most of those major economy actually have made their commitments that by year 2050, in the case of China, it's like 2060, 10 years later, that I mean that the entire country needs to be decarbonized. So they actually have cascades down to the sectoral level. In building that GBC World Green Council, actually we advocate this, we call Advanced Net Zero kind of initiative, whereby we develop quite detailed kind of roadmap. And more importantly, that along those roadmaps are detailed strategies, how the building sector actually can work together by engaging the stakeholders, and more importantly, to capitalize the capacity, be it technical or other means to work together. Other organizations like WBCSD also, have similar kind of advocates and develop the Decarbonisation Road Maps, whereby take a more pragmatic kind of approach and focusing not only on the operating energies, but also on embodied carbon. So I mean, worldwide, we are aligned, in terms of developing the roadmaps. And then we also align on another, we need to capitalize the technology. We also need data. That without data, if we could not measure, then we couldn't manage the problem. That's saying. So and that's why I mean worldwide that we have capitalized the latest technology to track, to record the carbons that emit from the buildings, and also the activities that are associated with our business. So that's actually areas that have been evolving and developing very quick, and we have to work together in order to agree on that. So I think tracking or carbon tracking in particular are another areas that we have to work together to get the data for us to move forward in the right directions. The other thing also important is on engaging all the parties. So that's why we think the disclosure of data and more importantly, disclosure of the commitments of a company, actually it is very important to engage the stakeholder to work together. So here we show the kind of ESG disclosure by different listed company in the rise, in particular in this the COVID periods. I mean that's been rise in a very rapid kind of scales. So that's actually something that help a lot to engage and also align different parties to work together, so that I mean that we make the sustainability become everything and for everyone. Another thing also important is that we believe the activities or actions from the government is very important. So that's why worldwide GBC and many other institutions actually advocate this policy issues on green and sustainability developments. So we know that we have to tighten up, we have to strengthen the current energy code, and we need to incorporate kind of health and well-being issues in regulations. And more importantly, that when we are planning ahead, we have to think about outside the current kind of settings, whether we should introduce something new, for example, carbon tax or other that that can help to again make the movement quicker right directions. And of course that from the perspective of GBC, that we actually will help work very good, for example, to administer green label labeling schemes, be it on the current kind of green label or future and carbon labels and zero carbon building kind of labels, are things that are also developing quick in this area. So I think we actually appeal for kind of support from private and also the public sector to work together in order to devise the right policy and also the regulations in place. But of course, more importantly, that we need the support from the public. That's why that the behavior change is very important. I mean, when we say the change, it's actually come from everybody, including we as a designer and also the operator, and more importantly, the every one of us, be members of this community or members of this world, that we have to change our lifestyle so that it actually help to reduce the carbon, and more importantly, that we need to live within the kind of boundary, a limited boundary on that. So these are the kind of things that we see happening, and some actually are happening faster and quicker, and some actually are less developed. We need to work together on that. So that's why before I finish my work, I'd like to bring up this. I mean that although COVID actually create a lot of misery, suffer, for many, but we still provide a kind of opportunity for us to rethink. We know that in our history, COVID-19 definitely is not the first kind of pandemic, and it won't be the last. So we have to rethink and take this opportunity and make a good use of this experience to look into the fundamentals, right? For example, that in future, that what exactly the office is really for? Do we still need a physical office, or can we within a limit of resources boundary that we can actually on one hand create the kind of GDP, but at the same time that can still reduce our energy use and other resource consumptions? And likewise, we have to think have a deep dive in this area. So what exactly is the space that we are expecting or we need, be it at home or be in other public space. So these are the kind of areas I think not only professionals, but I think every individual of us needs to engage in this kind of discussion. And I'm sure that these webinars or this occasion actually will be the start of the entire process. So with that, I finish my presentations.